Thursday, September 25, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome to the English newscast on Info Television. Our top stories. The Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense, Joseph Betty Asomo, has inaugurated a central clothing production building for the Defense and Security Forces. The ceremony held at the Ekunu Joint Services Training Center in Yaoundé. And in this newscast, we shall talk on the fact that the Brigadier General Mahamat Ahmed, commander of the National Fire Brigade, chaired the traditional command meeting for the second half of the year 2025 in Yaoundé. Those were our headlines. Details right ahead. Welcome back. And the Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense, Joseph Betty Asomo, has inaugurated a central clothing production building for the Defense and Security Forces. The ceremony, which held at the Ekunu Joint Services Training Center in Yaoundé this September 25, marks a significant step towards enhancing the country's defense capabilities. As you tell us, Agnes Ayuk.
Presided over by the Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of Defense, Joseph Betty Asomo, this September 25, 2025, inaugurated the Central Clothing Production Workshop for the Defense Forces and Security Forces. This took place at the Ekunu Joint Army Technical Training Center in Yaoundé. The workshop unit is designed to produce high-quality uniforms and clothing for the defense forces. As the Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of Defense, Joseph Betty Asomo cut the ribbon to officially open the facility. Military officials were already engaged in their various tasks, aiming to produce approximately 7,000 uniforms a day. This initiative highlights the government's commitment to enhancing national security and development in line with President Paul Biya's vision for a strong army and nation. This clothing production unit, which we inaugurate today, permits us to put in place an important military textile industry. I salute the President of the Republic, Chief of Armed Forces, for this new socio-economic development. This will go a long way to transform our economic structure. The inauguration ceremony was in the presence of the Governor of the Central Region, Nasiri Paul Biya, the Secretary of State to the Minister of Defense in charge of the National Gendarmerie, Yves Galax Etuga, the City Mayor of Yaoundé, Luc Messi Atangana, the Minister of Women Empowerment and the Family, Marie-Thérèse Benaudua, various government officials and other prominent personalities, all coming together to support this vital initiative.
The traditional Sabah presentation ceremony for active office cadets of the 41 class of military school held this September 25, 2025. The ceremony was presided over by Major General Philippe Pai, commander of the military schools and training centers, and held in Ekum Abang, Awai subdivision. Jessica Ndiwum attended the ceremony and brought back the following report.
The traditional saber presentation ceremony brought together active officer cadets of the 41st class of the Military School and Training Center. Having successfully completed the probationary period, proudly received their sabers, symbolically marking the initiation into active service. With heads held high and sabers gleaming in the sun, the first-year officer cadets embodied courage, discipline, and the spirit of national duty. The event was further graced by a breathtaking parade. In unison, the cadets marched with a rhythm so precise that it echoed their rigorous training. Their synchronized steps, adorned with ceremonial elegance, drew admiration from the gathered audience. The military band provided a stirring soundtrack to the spectacle, blending music and movement into a patriotic symphony, and their commitment to serve as defenders of peace and national unity. This traditional ceremony marks the successful transition of probationary cadets into active officer status. For the 41st class of EMEA, receiving the sabas signifies that these young officers have passed their initial test and are now formally recognized as capable of continuing their training towards full officership. The saber stands as a symbol of duty and a pledge of ultimate sacrifice.
Le sabre, c'est le symbole.
The sword symbolizes courage, loyalty, and self-denial. Beyond this ceremonial value, it represents a solemn commitment for those who receive it, a pledge to serve their homeland, even to the ultimate sacrifice.
Fils suprême.
The commander of EMEA further outlined his expectations for the active officer cadets, urging them to uphold discipline, patriotism, and commitment in their service.
C'est une année au terme.
During this period, they will undergo a series of rigorous tests and training programs, including basic soldier training, sub-officer instruction, and specialized modules. These include anti-terrorism courses, special forces training, and other complementary programs designed to prepare them for the demands of military service. The ceremony drew families, traditional rulers, and a host of military dignitaries, all gracing the event as honored witnesses. The atmosphere was filled with smiles and pride as the cadets embraced their civic responsibility to defend the nation with dignity and honor.
And still on Cameroon's Defense Forces, Brigadier General Mahamat Ahmed, commander of the National Fire Brigade, chaired the traditional command meeting for the second half of 2025 in Yaoundé. Topics tabled included communications related to command activities, the electoral context, and the celebration of the Corps' 40th anniversary. Details in this report.
Analyzing the operational performance of the National Fire Brigade, preparations for the presidential election on October 12, and the 40-year celebration of the Corps is the aim of this traditional meeting chaired by Brigadier General Mahamat Ahmed on September 25. While speaking, it was disclosed that effective measures are being taken to ensure optimal security during the presidential election. The National Fire Brigade, in its dynamic has taken and will take all precautionary measures, that is to guarantee a peaceful election period. Our teams are well mobilized to that effect. The meeting was held in the presence of staff officers, commanders of the territorial fire brigade groups of different cities, amongst others. During discussions, emphasis was made on the challenges of emergency and rescue management for the benefit of the population. The main challenges that we might be faced with has to do with operational challenges linked to emergencies of the population, also coordination with different rescue actors. So I think that if we can understand ourselves in that domain, we would be able to do a good job worthy of appreciation. Thanks to government efforts, the public was reassured of constant availability of firefighters.
Grâce à ces efforts consentis par l'État et au commandement, nous pouvons rassurer la population.
Thanks to the efforts put in place by the Cameroon government, we can assure the population that we will always be on alert and we will always be on their side to be able to render the services that they expect of us, that is, services of rescue, advice, and also support.
Bien préparé et apte à répondre à toutes les
While the command meeting continued behind closed doors, citizens are encouraged to collaborate with the National Fire Brigade by calling the emergency number 118.
The Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense, Joseph Betia Somo, has paid a working visit to the construction site of the Inter-Armed Military Academy's new campus in Ekumabang. The visit took place on September 24 in the presence of other top military officials. Let's watch.
The Inter-Armed Military Academy in Ekumabang is being constructed on a 5-hectare area. In order to evaluate the level of work carried out since 6 months, the Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense, Joseph Betia Somo, visited the site to assess the work carried out so far. We are now just waiting for the handing over of the keys and inauguration to better localize activities and EMIR training, because when we look at the way Melen was, it is the center of the town now. But the Melen in the past was considered the suburbs of Yaoundé, but now it's in the urban perimeters, and this campus disposes of a 60-hectare space, even though the construction will be on 5 hectares. Notably, this project is in its second phase, and in this phase, which involved the construction of probationary year building launched in February 2024, was completed in December 2024. This phase, launched in January 2025, smells progress. It is the project which the head of state asked us to put in place, and it has to be a military academy, and we are in the first phase, so I am leaving from here very satisfied. During this visit, Minister Joseph Betia Somo, accompanied by top military officials, thanked the elites of Ekumabang for the portion of land and support so far. I want to seize the opportunity to thank the population of this locality and this sector particularly, because this campus is located close to Swa and Awai, and it is all in the Mefo and Afamba division. We say thanks to them for giving us this 60 hectare of land in a civic way. We won't stop saying thanks to them. Under the coordination of Colonel Jean Eribeng Koonkoo, Director of Military Engineering, military students were visited at the site. The guided visit saw the presence of the senior divisional officer of the Mefo and Afamba division, the divisional officer, the mayor, parliamentarians, and other authorities. The execution rate is estimated at 25%.
During a working visit to the Adamawa region, the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Guti, laid the foundation stone of the Mini Matap bauxite mining project in the Matap subdivision, Vina division. The project intends to create thousands of jobs and boost the country's economy, as you tell us in this report, Phillips Enchi.
In a grandiose and solemn ceremony on September 24, 2025 in the Matap subdivision, Vina division in the Adamawa region, the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Guti, representative of the Head of State, President Paul Biya, accompanied by the Interim Minister of Mines, Industry and Technological Development, Professor Fu Callistus Gentry, laid the foundation stone for the Mini Matap bauxite industry mining project by Kamalco SA. The Mini Matap bauxite deposit, covering a surface area of 1,000 kilometers square, is assessed at 1 billion tons of high-grade ore containing 51% alumina and less than 2% silica, with an estimated market value amounting to $16 billion at current price, with an annual production of 6 million tons within a period of 20 years, requiring an investment of approximately $2 billion. The bauxite deposit intends to undergo a transformation, producing some 13 million tons of alumina annually and 30 million tons of refined bauxite, representing an alumina production rate of approximately 44 million tons over 30 years, with an estimated market value of $60 billion. The bauxite deposit will necessitate an hasty infrastructural development aiming at transforming the country's economy.
Mais hofni on umatore matap. Je voudrais à cet effet m'intéresser à quelques données.
I want to this effect list out the content in making this project a reality, which are the construction of a 45-kilometer route infrastructure to connect the mining site to the Mako railway station, the acquisition of 22 locomotive engines and 560 wagons to transport minerals, the rehabilitation of a 650-kilometer railroad between Mako and the Douala port with 4 billion and 500 million francs CFA available for this project.
Et pour laquelle une enveloppe de 4 milliards 500 millions de francs CFA est déjà disponible.
The investment will enable Cameroon to position itself as an integrated player in the global bauxite aluminium value chain, competing with industry giants worldwide. It is expected to create industrial corridors that will transform the nation's economic landscape while reshaping its industrial and social fabric through strengthened collaboration.
The
government is expecting to realize its ambitions in a conducive, serene and confident environment while involving the local population into the project, promoting collaboration and division of labor. The project is worthy of appreciation.
1,000 jobs due to construction involving roads, infrastructure, camp, railway and port facilities. Once in operation, it will sustain over 700 jobs while creating thousands of induced opportunities for local communities.
The impact of the project is already visible, with 42 kilometers of road to the Mini-Matap bauxite deposit now motorable. Plans are underway for the construction of a hospital, an ultramodern school, a market in the Matap and Minim, along with other social projects provided under the mining convention. The mayor of Matap could not hide his satisfaction. Our engagement towards this project surpasses the extraction of minerals. We want to work hand in gloves with the local community and partners to ensure a positive outcome and leaves behind a heritage for our future generation. The project is expected to create 5,000 direct jobs and 20,000 indirect jobs, while also providing training for engineers from the School of Geology and Mining Engineering at the University of Ngaoundéré to ensure skilled workforce in the mining sector. The ceremony, graced by administrative, local and traditional authorities, proved successful as the country awaits economic transformation in the days ahead.
And on to this information, which says Downstream Consulting SR marked its 20th anniversary in Yaoundé with a double ceremony celebrating 2 decades of growth and awarding medals to over 280 employees. Founded in the year 2004 with just 3 staff, The company now employs more than 2,000 people across Semak region, specializing in petroleum, consulting, services, service station, management, environmental protection and training. Presided over by Labour Minister Grégoire Owona and Women's Empowerment Minister Marie-Thérèse Abena-Ondua, the event highlighted loyalty, professionalism, and resilience. The company pledged to continue investing in its workforce, the driving force behind its success. These and more shall be yours in our subsequent editions. And the National Platform of Cameroon Civil Society Organizations has issued a firm call for unity and tolerance ahead of the October 12 presidential election. Stakeholders were urged to embrace dialogue and constructive engagement. Jessica Ndiwum throws more light.
Planoscam is urging the media to act responsibly by providing accurate information, civic education, and awareness to foster peaceful elections. Political actors, citizens, security forces, as well as religious and traditional leaders were all cautioned against actions, statements, or behaviors that could fuel violence, hatred, or division. We must actively safeguard the credibility of the electoral process through participatory mechanisms, including monitoring, reporting, and countering misinformation. Specifically, we plan to establish a physical and digital network of citizens sentinels to detect right intentions or signs of electoral violence. These initiatives aim to strengthen the resilience of the population against ignorance and disinformation. The time has come to confront with courage and conviction the mindset that sees violence as inevitable in today's world. The platform encouraged citizens to see the presidential election as a collective journey to elevate the nation and project Cameroon's greatness to the world. We must safeguard the bonds of fraternity and friendship that have been built and nurtured over many years. The citizens' vigilance for peace that we are implementing is designed to prevent, detect, and reduce any risk of political violence, human rights violations, or misinformation, ensuring a peaceful and inclusive environment before, during, and after October 12. Planoscam further stressed the need to uphold the rule of law, respect human rights, and strengthen national cohesion at this crucial stage of Cameroon's democratic life. The October 12 polls come against a backdrop of socio-political unrest and security challenges. Planoscam's initiatives add to other peaceful-driven efforts, including a campaign by conflict expert Robert Ngangi, aimed at preventing electoral violence and fostering dialogue. Together, these actions underscore the vital role of civil society in safeguarding democracy and peace in Cameroon.
Away from that, leaders of the Cameroon road transport sector convened at the 2nd Gendarmerie region in the littoral. The meeting aimed at reaffirming their support towards security and peace before, during, and after the October 12 presidential elections. Patience Shintum reports.
Transport sector workers and employers of Cameroon have pledged to stand as guardians of peace before, during, and after the October 12 presidential election.
After
the remarkable management of road security during the holiday period, with little or no major incidents, I can say you all did a great job. For now, our focus should be on the presidential elections. To this effect, you should not allow yourselves to be used by any political party or group to cause disorder. That is what we have been talking about all this while. Meeting at the 2nd Gendarmerie region headquarters in Littoral, socio-professional leaders reaffirmed their determination to work hand-in-hand with security forces to ensure stability. The third quarter platform, chaired by General Divine Ekongwese, commander of the 2nd Gendarmerie region, highlighted the importance of collaboration between transport partners and security services. One of the most important aspects that have been discussed discussed here is the need to increase security cameras and GPS. The GPS issue is really challenging because we have insufficient supplies. As such, we proposed some solutions like the use of stickers to permit road users to easily transport goods on transit. The session also reviewed the activities of motorized road patrol units within the region, while shedding light on persistent challenges, notably difficulties with GPS systems and the issuance of transport permits. Amongst other things, we spoke with our partners of the syndicate to also stay disciplined, especially at this time when Douala is facing serious traffic congestion. They can even assist in its control on permission and directives. Union leaders, for their part, declared readiness to contribute actively to peace building. Closing the session, General Divine Nekongwese urged vigilance, unity and continued collaboration.
The newly appointed Senior Divisional Officer of Mefu and Akono Division, Adeline Claude Sobmote, visited the Mvokfuda Mbala community in Nomayos on September 23, 2025 to know the realities of the people. Residents used the opportunity to share their concerns and equally their needs. Let's watch.
Adeline Claude Sobmote, the newly installed Senior Divisional Officer of Mefu and Akono Division, received a warm welcome with vibrant traditional performances at Mvokfuda Mbala, precisely at Noyomaso Chiefdom, on September 23, 2025. During her official outing, Adeline Claude Sobmote emphasized the importance of measuring the gap between the government's strategic vision and its implementation on the ground. Her goal is to identify corrective measures.
Respecting each other, we need to integrate the customs and traditions of each other as value of identity and determination. In this regard, I want to prescribe you in an abundant manner tolerance, mutual respect, and integration into the host communities.
She also called for a fight against drug consumption in the locality and encouraged youths to become job creators, particularly in the agricultural sector.
We must also get involved in the socio-economic development activity within the different localities of Bankomo by sharing the know-how you have with other communities to derive into a better cultural and social mixing, which boosts growth of the local level.
Chief Roger Efa Nyama of Mvokfuda Mbala expressed his gratitude while presenting some requests. The exchanges between the population and the Senior Divisional Officer of Mefu and Akono Division were open and constructive. I believe she answered all the questions we raised. We discussed roads, school infrastructure, and other recurring concerns in such cases. She provided clear responses to each point. We also addressed issues relating to personal and human resources in general, and she responded thoroughly. This leaves us satisfied and encouraged. The ceremony was attended by government officials.